Hey everyone, I'm Dennis Spillman and with me is Heidi Brandes, and we're here to talk to you about Colorful Escapes, a travel show where art is the destination. Now Heidi, why don't you tell us everyone else about the show?
Well, there's something about travel. Everybody loves to travel. It really opens up the world to everyone. But you know what else does? Art. So if you can combine both art and travel and make the art in different areas the destination of travel, it's the perfect combination for a travel show.
Yeah, and there's really not any shows dedicated to art on travel-wise, and art's a huge factor for economic development. We're seeing small towns being revitalized because of their art and culture scene. So we're kind of travel with Colorful Escapes to showcase all these really cool destinations that are very art focused.
Yeah, and it's not just museums. It's not just what your typical art scene would be. We're talking about public art. We're talking about art that's free for the people, small galleries, little known galleries. I mean, these little treasures you wouldn't find unless you actually go out and travel into new places and new destinations.
Yeah, art's not limited to, four walls and a white room.
No, it's not.
Sometimes you can find it in the back of an alley or little tiny things hidden on a telephone pole.
Yeah.
You'll never know unless you go out there and try it and see it and experience it for yourself. So a little bit about us generally and why we're capable of doing this show. My main job that I do is a travel series called Uncovering Oklahoma, which highlights creative people and places throughout the state. So I've been doing that for almost 9 years, and I just kind of do weekly videos that just kind of showcase just what there is to do in Oklahoma. And Colorful Escapes is a project that I'm really excited to do because it'll kind of give me a chance to tell stories, across the world. Heidi has also quite an impressive resume herself.
Yeah, I am primarily a writer. I've been a journalist for almost 20 years, an award-winning journalist. I spent my career in newspaper, telling stories, covering the news. In the last 5 years, I've really branched out into kind of more magazine-style storytelling with a special focus on travel. So, from Taiwan to Fredericksburg, Texas, I've been able to go to these places and really tell the stories of why you should travel there. And every single place I go, it's always about the art.
Yeah, it's such a huge focus.
It is.
So for this project, actually, Heidi and I, this isn't our first video together. we actually have done a couple travel videos for Uncovering Oklahoma. She's collaborated with me. Mm-hmm. In fact, so we have experience working together. As proof of concept, Heidi and I actually shot a test pilot here in Norman, Oklahoma, just to kind of showcase kind of what we're looking to do. So here it is.
I'm Heidi Brandes. Join me on Colorful Escapes, where art is the destination. We're in Norman, Oklahoma, home of the Oklahoma Sooners and the University of Oklahoma, but also home to a thriving and vibrant art scene. You can find art in unexpected places like this alleyway or in world-class museums hosted by the University of Oklahoma. Today we're going to be exploring everything Norman has to offer in the way of art. So please come join us on our Colorful Escapes. Main Site Contemporary Art is the home of the Norman Arts Council, located right here in downtown Norman. It's one of many galleries where you can see local artists, national artists, international artists, and really enjoy the art scene in this small community. They debut 6 major exhibits a year, always on the second Friday art walk here in downtown Norman. And it's just a really cool place to come and start your journey in exploring art here in downtown Norman. When you're visiting Norman on your Colorful Escapes, it's best to walk. Why? Because if you're driving, you might miss hidden little gems like Gallery 123. Well, Allie and Kiki, tell me a little bit about this space. What is its mission? What is its purpose?
Well, we started this in 2010. There were 10 of us that got involved with doing it. And it just gave us a place as artists locally here to showcase our work and actually be able to put it for sale at a reasonable cost to the consumer, but not where we were spending all of our money in commission.
Well, tell me a little bit about the artists that come here. I mean, everybody is a little different.
They are. We've got, Kiki does all our textures, textiles. She works with felt and silks. She's also a jeweler. We have several jewelers here. We have fused glass artists that actually do some teaching at the Firehouse Art Center. We have wool painters, stone sculptors, metal sculptors. So it just gives a different look. It's a relatively small space, but we're able to showcase a lot of different types of work. And I think, especially for Second Friday, which is our bread and butter, where we may get anywhere from 500 to 1,200 people come up, depending on the weather. It's a real fun evening here in Norman. And the nice thing about that is when they come into our gallery, it's a little different because there are so many different types of work to see. So there's usually something that appeals to everybody.
We've been open for about 8 years, and over the 8 years, we've probably had how many, Allie? Maybe 20 artists come through?
Probably so. We've had some turnover with that, and it's nice that we have the ability to do that because it's not something that everybody can put the amount of time into to stay here for 8 years like Kiki and I have been able to do. So we're the two sole surviving founding members.
And it adds fresh artwork too.
Yeah.
So when people come in here, that's one of the things they say. You have a real variety of art, and and it's different every time.
I was noticing that walking around. I've walked around just this space alone about 5-6 times, and every single time I see something new. I see something new, something that catches my eye. But you also support up-and-coming artists. Let's talk about the gallery space in this building.
Well, there again, that was because of the Clintons. His sons are our landlords, and they're very generous in allowing the open and community spaces to be used to display art as well. And we noticed a large canvas of space, if you will, up and down the staircase that wasn't being utilized. We had hung things in the hallway, but there was never anything up or down the stairs. So we came up with the idea to do an up-and-coming artist space, up-and-coming, and that way we can give new artists especially who haven't really had the opportunity to show a 3 or 4 month period of time where they can show their work, and we don't charge them anything for that. It just gives them a place to show it.
You can find art anywhere here in Norman. We're here at Studio Ink with Erin Edelman, and of course a very colorful place here, but tell us about your connection with the art scene here in Norman.
Well, we host a new artist every art walk, so we have new art every single month coming in and out of here. And I try to find artists that haven't maybe had a chance to show in other galleries yet. So little of those untouched or maybe nervous artists. But yeah, all of our tattoo artists also specialize in another medium, so that's kind of cool. They get to show off their work too.
So the artists that you feature here, are you looking for a particular style? Are you looking for things that are a little more edgy or a little more contemporary, or kind of describe how you choose your artists?
I honestly don't put it in a box at all. I'm really open. It's just kind of if someone submits and it strikes my fancy or our fancy, or maybe goes along with the theme of Art Walk for that month.
So kind of tell us about your business here.
Well, we're an art gallery and a tattoo studio. We kind of always do like a, party in the front, business in the back, or like a little, kind of something like that. But like I said, they all have another medium that they specialize in, so we just have a well-rounded group here, and then we're able to invite other local artists that maybe don't tattoo into the studio to showcase their stuff.
Now you have a secret out back too, don't you?
I sure do.
Okay, let's go check it out.
Okay.
Holy cow, look at this. This is the alleyway. Tell me what we're looking at here.
This is a piece by Mario Winston. He's a local artist. He's done some other murals before, and he has some really beautiful oil paintings, and he's a photographer as well. So.
Really? And this beautiful piece is in an alleyway here in Norman, downtown Norman. Tell me about this alley.
Urban Alley kind of came together with a couple of us business owners got together, and we sort of just had it with all the crap graffiti that was back here. It
Yeah.
It looked sketchy, it was uncomfortable, it wasn't pretty. And so what can we do about it? And that's how it started. So we started with one door, like maybe people won't paint over this if it's pretty.
Yeah.
And it just sort of went from there. So
Wow, so now you have traffic coming up and down this alley to look at the art. What has it done for the businesses in this area?
I think it's just sort of lifted everyone's spirits a little bit. Like you don't feel nervous to take your trash out. You don't feel embarrassed about people being able to see the back of your building and wondering like, golly, well, what's on front if it looks like this? So it just seems safer and happier.
What would you like to see happen with this whole alleyway area?
Oh man, I want it all painted, every last inch of it. The streets, the dumpsters, everything. And then I think eventually we'd really like to string some lights and maybe have it just be a destination for people to come have a drink or, a taco from a food truck or something. And some bands. We've had music out here, so just kind of see that grow and be a place for the community to hang out.
As you travel through Norman, you may see some dramatic, colorful, and gigantic works of art. Rick Sennett turns the sides of buildings and even dumpsters into canvases for his work. Tell us about you. How did you evolve into this major, famous artist?
well, I don't know about that, but I was always encouraged to pursue art and creativity by my parents ever since I was a little kid, and so I knew I was going to be an artist. It was just in me.
Rick has a passion for making art accessible for all. Many of his creations are designed to be viewed and enjoyed for free as part of his mission to bring art to the people of Norman and beyond.
Over several occasions, as I was growing up, I'd always kind of get this, this burning desire to do something that seemed like it was for the better good of humankind. I always wanted to, I wanted to do something that kind of made a difference. And, and it was cool to be able to like buy shoes with money that I made from art or eat or things like that. But there would come points where it just wasn't feeding my soul. And I kind of was searching, and had been for a long time. And I'd find various avenues that would then do that. I would, when I started this campaign that I've kind of become known for, the Art for the People campaign.
These murals became a destination. People specifically drive to Norman to see Rick's art and take pictures with it.
Well, we decided to stop for lunch with our buddy Rick. We're at the Diner, which is a famous place here in Norman. It's been in business for over 100 years. It's been featured in a couple TV shows. It's a local favorite. In fact, I'm having breakfast, even though it's afternoon, because they serve breakfast all day long. They have burgers, Mexican food, just your typical good American diner food. Here at the Firehouse Art Center in Norman, students as young as 5 and students as young as 95 gather here to learn about creativity, about visual arts. They come together as a community because the Firehouse Art Center here in Norman really is a community gathering place for people who love art and want to learn art. In fact, we're here with Emily Smart with the Firehouse Art Center, and she's going to tell us what are some of the different events people can come to throughout the year?
Yeah, absolutely. So here we have our gallery space, and we have receptions for our exhibitions. We normally do them about every 2 months. We switch exhibitions. A lot of them are educational or feature the work of our programs, like this one right now with the Healing Studio. So this was all work created by participants of the Healing Studio. But we have classes in quarterly semesters throughout the year for both children, adults, and then kind of a youth and teen selection as well.
Well, if somebody is coming into Oklahoma for the first time or Norman for the first time, what will they discover here at the center?
Oh, there's so much, it's hard to think where even to begin. So it kind of depends what they're looking for. We serve such a wide variety of people, a wide variety of abilities, age range, socioeconomic backgrounds, all of that. So when they come here just on a day visit, they're going to get to experience our gallery space and our gift shop space, which 90% of the artists are actually from Oklahoma, so it's a really cool way to give back and support local artists. But then if they want to take an art class, there's experiences for that. There's our Healing Studio, like I mentioned, which is a studio program we do weekly for individuals, adults with different cognitive and physical abilities and challenges that they're facing, and we provide that. It's a scholarship grant-funded program, so everyone that attends that gets to attend for free. So we're really fortunate to be able to give that back to the community, but then as well, there's all the other different events we have going on, and we have like the duck sculptures out in the park and all of that kind of stuff, and our partnership with Public Arts Board, so there's a pretty wide variety of stuff going on.
What I really like about this is a destination place. You know, you can go to, you know, art galleries and art museums all around the world, but where else can you go where it's very rare where you can come in and see the art of your youngest community members to art of your oldest community members who've never picked up a paintbrush before. So it's not like the kind of stoic art museum. You see the heart of the people here.
Yeah, so I think the benefit of being a community arts center rather than a traditional gallery space or a traditional museum space is that you get a lot more of the people coming through everything that you're doing, and because we're here to serve the community rather than kind of just we're providing a spot, which there's nothing wrong with that, but rather than being that, we provide this other more engaging element for it. So it's something that we're really excited to do, and even the work that we do outside of our own walls in order to be able to enrich our community even further, I think is incredibly important.
The Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art is truly one of the gems of Norman's art scene. This impressive museum not only has a Van Gogh, but a Monet, and has one of the most extensive collections of Native American art found in the region.
The museum goes back to 1936. It was established by a large gift of Asian art from Lou Wentz, who's an oil man from Ponca City, and Gordon Matsine, who was an English photographer. And from there, the museum grew, kind of moved around, and then it eventually settled here on this location in 1971 when it became the Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art.
Well, tell us a little bit about the collection of art here that people can find when they visit.
Well, this is largely a comprehensive collection. It begins with the Renaissance and continues into the contemporary. It has a number of, I think, really impressive focal points. Most notably is the Weizenhofer collection. That was given to the museum in 2000 as part of a bequest from Clara and Aaron Weizenhofer, and it includes Impressionism and Post-Impressionism. A portrait of Alexander Reed by Vincent van Gogh is probably one of our most notable paintings. We also have Monet, we have Degas, we have Gauguin. It's really an impressive collection, and it's installed in a facsimile of the house that they had in Nichols Hills, the neighborhood in Oklahoma City.
Oh, that's amazing. And you also have other pieces of art that when people think of the Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art, they're like, you have to see this piece. Which pieces are those?
Well, the Van Gogh is certainly a special one. We also have a number of works that I think are real draws. We have the Eugene B. Atkins collection here, a collection of the American West, Native American art. There's a great painting by Walter Ufer titled Going East. It's one of the best works he ever created. The piece behind us, Louis Jimenez Mustang, is probably familiar to a lot of people because it served as the maquette for the much larger piece that is out in front of the Denver airport. And in addition to that, I think we are also well known for a very sort of unusual piece by the Colombian artist Fernando Botero, the Sphinx, which sits out in front of the museum. There's hardly a day that goes by that somebody's not taking a photo in front of the Sphinx.
Well, for visitors who are new to Oklahoma, and especially new to Norman, when they come here, what do you think surprises them the most? What would they, just the biggest draw you think they will enjoy here?
Well, I think people are always surprised that a collection like this exists on a university campus. And this museum is really rare in that it has such a deep and diverse collection. And this is a state university. So this kind of a museum is really a rarity within the country. But I think apart from this museum, the grounds of the University of Oklahoma are really attractive, and there are a number of other collections on campus that are really impressive. Not just the Sam Noble Museum of Natural History, but also the Western History Collection, the History of Science Collection, the Bazell Libraries. There's a lot here to enjoy in addition to what we're probably best known for, which is athletics.
This museum is massive. It's got wing after wing of exhibits and exhibitions, rotating and permanent. And best of all, it's free. Free through a grant and some generous donations through the college and supporters of the museum. So if you're in Norman, this is not to miss. We're at the Resonator Institute, one of the newest art spaces in Norman. And the Resonator Institute, as you can see, has its own unique look about it. Kind of tell us about what the mission and philosophy of the space is and how it started.
Not all at once. Okay. This started in conversations probably about 2 or 3 years ago, where they had Eric and Jenna were running a space called Dope Chapel, and my wife and I had been talking about doing a space too, and they knew that. And then when Dope Chapel had reached its terminal velocity, they got in touch with us, and we started kind of talking about this.
Now you're a little off the beaten path. You're in kind of an industrial area. Kind of explain to me why you chose this area.
Well, we looked for quite a while for just the right space. Like he was saying, the spot we had before was kind of a better location because it was downtown, but it was a very tiny storefront area. So we were able to do some shows there, which was nice, but like he was saying, we got a lot of printmaking equipment, and we were just looking for more sort of workspace as well as a nice gallery to show things. So I don't know, we looked for a really long time. There were definitely multiple spaces that we considered, but this one kind of just popped out to us, and it was very reasonably priced and a huge, really good space to work with. And we figured even though it's a little out of the way, we could draw people from OKC. I mean, we were able to draw some pretty big crowds in the past, so yeah, we just
it's a
kind of
specific
have
thing.
our
If
own
you're looking
audience.
for like kind of cutting edge art, experimental performances, music and stuff like that in Oklahoma, people are willing to drive out to come to it. So even though it's a couple streets from the main street, we still get a good crowd out here. And
And that's a great point to bring up. I mean, you showcase a different style of art than, say, some of the other galleries in town. Everybody's unique, everybody's different. Kind of explain to me what you're looking for.
personally, everybody that's a part of the space all has their own tastes, and I think when we work together to book artists to come out here, you get a blend of all these people that are involved in volunteering. Personally, what I like seeing is people that are pushing an envelope and trying to create new genres, new styles, things that we haven't seen around.
A lot of people just walk by a gallery. We kind of want to be a little more open and that people might see us and just see
And
that
just
people,
wandering.
just people are, oh, there's people over here having a good time. Let's go see what that's about, as opposed to, oh, that's an art gallery. Don't want to offend anybody with the way I'm dressed, sort of thing. So that's a big part of the attitude, is just kind of cutting through a lot of the pretense that exists in a lot of the
Making it more open for
exactly.
Yeah, we try to kind of encourage like the idea of like DIY too a lot, since I mean that's kind of how we started our space, was like we just didn't see a space that was doing quite like the kind of things we wanted, and so it was like, well, we can figure out how to do this, and a lot of it is just like throwing yourself into it and then learning as you go, and just not letting anyone tell you that there's a specific way to do it, because there really isn't.
If you need a little pick-me-up after a day of exploring Norman and its art scene, check out Gray Owl Coffee. It's one of many little coffee shops that serve great coffee, but also display art on their walls as well. They have live bands during the second Friday Art Walk, and it's just a hopping little place.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
You must be William.
I am. Come on in.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the grand tour. I
Sure.
can't wait to see the place.
Absolutely. Come back this way. So our living room here, each evening we'll put out some wine and some cookies here that we put out about 5 o'clock every evening. We also have coffee by the cup here all day long. If anybody wants any kind of coffee at any time, that's what we do. We have 5 rooms this way, and then we have 4 rooms upstairs too. So
William proceeded to give us a tour of a couple of the rooms at the Montfort Inn. Most notable was their alma mater room.
a lot of people say, oh, this OU room, and it does lend itself to that, definitely, but it's a nice cozy room, has some pictures of university life. A lot of our family members are here. My grandfather's here. It's his letter sweater up here from when he was at the university in the late 20s and early 30s, and so it's a nice piece. Absolutely, we love this room, and a lot of people really like it because of obviously being here at the University of Oklahoma, just a mile south of us. So.
Throughout the inn, you'll find art William has collected from family members and his travels. I personally enjoyed the Willowwood Cottage with its rustic and vintage feel. The massive heart-shaped tub was especially luxurious. If you need a place to stay in Norman, Montford Inn is centrally located and is just a short walk away from the downtown area and the University of Oklahoma. Plus, by staying at a local hotel, a portion of the sales taxes benefits the Norman Arts Council. The Second Friday Art Walk is a great time to visit Norman if you want to really explore the art in this area. But really, any time is a good time to visit. I'm Heidi Brandis. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Colorful Escapes in Norman, Oklahoma. Where are we going next? Stay tuned. Well, we really hope you enjoyed the pilot. We're very excited about this series because we have a chance to really showcase art in different places, different kind of art in different places, and how you can incorporate appreciation for the arts into your travel.
And there's going to be all kinds of cool rewards for you if you back us today.
We have downloads, we have early access, we've got special sneak peeks behind the scene, and there's an executive producer reward where you get to choose where to send us next. So if you have your hometown, no matter where it is in the United States, you get to choose where we go.
Yeah. So definitely become a backer today and share with your friends, spread the word, because this is something that we would love to see happen. And we know a lot of the communities would love to see something like this as well.
In today's environment, art and travel both are so important. It opens up our perspective to so many things and helps us understand each other. So please help us get Colorful Escapes out into the public. We're really excited about this project and really excited about the possibility of combining art and travel together.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Bye.